Hello everyone, my name is Sage and welcome to this video everybody. In this video I'm going to be going over something that I haven't really done or thought about on this channel in the past. I've done something similar, like yesterday I talked about rare weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, and in the past I have talked about removed weapons in the game. Well, in this video guys, not only am I going to be talking about rare and removed weapons, it's going to be combined into sort of a different sort of category, which is 10 weapons that will probably never return to Pixel Gun 3D ever. Now in this video I'm going to go over weapons that were extremely overpowered, so they removed them, and the developers probably have no intention of adding these weapons back to the game ever. Now the reason I thought about making this video is because people always ask me when the next time a certain gun will come back, and I don't have an answer for them because obviously I do not work for the devs. However, I do think that a lot of these weapons can come back, but none of them will because they just don't feel like adding them back. Obviously they keep adding new weapons, which is always cool. It's great to keep the game refreshing and new and having great new weapons and everything like that. However guys, there's a lot of weapons that have been in the game before that they just simply do not add back. But that being said, there has been weapons on this list that have been returned after the initial release of them, meaning that they were released in the game originally, and then once they were removed, and then they were re-added again. So then they were removed again, and now they likely will have no chance of coming back. So guys, if you guys do enjoy this video, I'd very much appreciate if you did subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 13,000 subscribers right now. It's absolutely insane, guys. So if you do enjoy this video, and if you do find it helpful, please click that subscribe button, guys. And if you do enjoy it, click that like button as well. And let me know down in the comments what you guys would like to see next. Let's get right into this video.
Okay, guess we doing just fine. Said I'm not yours, so I'll say you're not mine. Okay, just a waste of my time. Out of my head, of my mind. Say you wanna leave, that so I'll let you go. Guessing it was
Okay guys, so the first weapon I'm going to be talking about is called the Last Kiss. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these statistics of that weapon now. So it is a primary weapon of the Epic grade, and it was released in the 9.2.0 version of Pixel Gun 3D, which was very, very long ago. You unlocked it at level 7, and it has a fire rate of 90, a capacity of 10, and a mobility of 50. So it seems like an average assault rifle weapon, and I can't really tell you guys too much about why this weapon was removed or why it is no longer available. So what does that tell us about the weapon? Well, it tells us that it likely wasn't bought by very many people, meaning that it wasn't a very popular weapon at all, and because of that, they probably removed it from the game. Now, I could 100% be wrong about this. I don't know anything for certain because I personally do not remember this weapon being in the game at all. However, it was in the game a long time ago, and it was removed a long time ago, so not very many people have this weapon, and I don't think it'll ever be coming back because, honestly, weapons that they removed because of lack of popularity never ever make it back to the game. Alrighty everybody, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next weapon, which is called the Avalanche. So let's go ahead and look at the statistics of it here. So it is a heavy weapon of the legendary grade, and it was released in the 9.0.4 update of Pixel Gun 3D, meaning that it is an older weapon compared to the one we just looked at before. So with a fire rate of 98 and a capacity of 30 and a mobility of 50, it seems like an average weapon. The fire rate is pretty high, so this was a snowball launching weapon, and it was winter themed, and it wasn't a remodel, and you can get it at level 1, meaning that as soon as you started playing the game, you were able to get this weapon. However, this is no longer the case. The weapon itself is no longer available in Pixel Gun 3D. Why? I'm not sure. There's a lot of weapons that have been just taken from the game that will no longer will ever become back in the game. People always complain about certain weapons. Like a lot of people right now are currently complaining about the smart bazooka, which I will be talking about later. Or is it called the smart bullet? I don't know. I'll be talking about that after, you guys. But talking about a weapon like this, no one wanted it gone. I don't know anybody who complained about this, and I remember when this was in the game, I used this a lot. This was a very popular weapon, so why did they remove it? I don't know. Was it too overpowered? I'm not sure, but these are just this is just an example. A very familiar gun to all, guys. The next weapon we'll be looking at is the OX Bad Code. So let's go ahead and take a look at its stats before we do anything else. It was a heavy weapon with a rare category type, and it is of the update of 10.0.0. It has a fire rate of 91, a capacity of 12, and a mobility of 115, and it says 11 weight and 115 mobility. I'm not really sure what that means, but it was a computer themed, and it wasn't a remake of any other weapon, and you could get it at the earliest level. I'm really confused at what that means, guys, because the mobility thing there said 115 mobility, but it also said something else underneath. I'm not really sure of which one to believe. But anyway, guys, let's talk a little bit about this weapon. So this was a weapon that you were able to get at the end of the original 3 campaign worlds. If you beat the end of the level 3 campaign world, you were able to get this weapon. And I'm not sure why it was removed. People rocket jumped a lot with it, and eventually they added an animation, and then after a while, they just totally removed it from the game. I don't know why. Another very familiar weapon on this list, guys, the Smart Bullet Bazooka. Now, this one's name is a little bit long. I used to think that it was called the Smart Bullet and the Smart Bazooka. I don't know. I used to be confused, but let's take a look at the stats here. So, it is a heavy weapon of the legendary category. It came out in the 10.6.0 update with a fire rate of 84 and a capacity of 4, 100 mobility, and 10 weight. This is something that we saw with the last one. I'm not sure if these are all the weapons now or if the fandom has just become more modern and it shows a bunch more things about the weapon itself. But these are some interesting statistics. So, a little bit about the weapon, guys. Whenever you shot this thing, the weapon would actually act as like a homing weapon, and you could actually shoot it towards any enemy player, and the bullet would automatically go to the other enemy player. And I'm not sure exactly why it was removed. I know a lot of people did complain about this weapon. No one really liked the fact that you didn't have to, put any effort into it after you shot. You could just kind of shoot the gun, and it would just do an extremely high amount of damage while staying far away from you, which is probably why they ended up removing it. It was so overpowered and kind of overlooked by the community. A weapon that's going to be in the mind of the 3 cat spammers lives forever, guys, the Comet. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Comet statistics here. It is a sniper of the legendary category. It was released in the version of 15.7.0. It has a fire rate of 89 and a capacity of 10. It was a 50 mobility, and it says 60 formally, so they actually nerfed it. You needed to be level 2 in order to get this weapon originally, and it says themed, space themed. Very interesting. And there, right there, it says a remodel of the Royal Sniper Rifle. Now, that's very, very interesting because not a lot of weapons are actually remakes of other ones, and I'm really surprised because this weapon, to me, does not look like the Royal Sniper Rifle. I'm picturing it in my mind, guys, and it looks nothing like the crazy, wacky, like, Comet-looking stuff on the front. I'm not really sure if they just used, like, the original model of the Royal Sniper and they just added stuff onto it afterwards to make it the Comet that we now know today. But anyway, guys, this weapon was extremely overpowered for 3 cat spam, and it was removed after a while just because of how popular it was becoming. I'm not really sure exactly why the specific person, but that's just the reason. So a very controversial weapon, to say the least, guys. We'll be talking about the Ultimatum next. So let's go ahead and take a look at its statistics here, guys. It is a primary weapon. It is a shotgun, of course, of the mythical category, and it was added in 15.3.0. It has a fire rate of 42, pretty low, of course, capacity of 10, and a mobility of 50. So pretty slow-moving weapon. You needed to be level 3 to get this. It was a cyber-themed weapon, and it wasn't a remodel of nothing, but it was a wall break weapon, meaning you can shoot the shotgun directly through a wall. Now, that's something that you really don't think about when you think of shotguns. Shotguns don't really go through walls, but this one did, and it's absolutely crazy to think that this weapon was one of the weapons you could get at a mere level 3. Eventually, this weapon was removed because of how overpowered it was, and everybody knew that for a fact. This weapon was so stupidly overpowered, but however, they did recently bring it back to the game, but now that it has been added back once, I do not think that it will ever return. So guys, this next one is probably one you guys haven't heard of before, and that is going to be the Eindringling. Eindringling? I don't know, guys. It's a really interesting weapon. It's kind of hard to pronounce, but let's go ahead and take a look at its statistics here. So, it is a primary weapon of the epic category. It was released in 6.3.1. That was so long ago. With a fire rate of 98, a capacity of 30, and a mobility of 50. It seems like a relatively average weapon. It was just a regular old weapon. You had to be level 7 to get it, and it was World War II themed, and that's really cool to see with a weapon like this, guys. But this weapon was released in 6.3.1. That was so long ago, guys. Oh my gosh. But anyway, guys, talking about this weapon a little bit, everybody knows that a lot of really old weapons were just completely removed from the game. In real life, there is an actual weapon called the Eindringling, and I think that's how it's pronounced again. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't know why they removed this. They removed so many of the old weapons that existed back in the day that now no longer exist, and it's so sad. Being a 3-catter's wet dream, guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this before. This weapon is the Ice King. Now, let's go ahead and look at the statistics of the weapon here. It is a special weapon of the legendary category, and it was released in the 15.7.0 update. It had a fire rate of 21, extremely low, of course, and it had a capacity of 1, but that is because you didn't even have to reload it. It had a relatively slow mobility, being 55, and you only had to be level 2 to get this. The theme was Christmas/ice themed, and it was a remodel of the Ghost Lantern, and that's something that you don't really see with a lot of weapons, the remodeling. Actually, that's not true. There's a lot of weapons that have been remodeled from others. Anyway, guys, talking about this weapon a little bit, being the Ghost Lantern style weapon that it is, you would expect it to function in the same way of the Ghost Lantern, and in a way, it sort of does. It shoots out the same bullet, except a little tiny bit smaller, not too much though. It still serves around the same function, except with this gun, guys, it shoots it out so far and so fast. Obviously with the Ghost Lantern, it's super small, but this one was so fast that they just decided to remove it. A weapon of very high disgust, guys, the Judge. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard of this before, so let's go ahead and look at its statistics, guys. Obviously, the Judge is a very hated weapon. So, guys, this was a heavy weapon of the legendary category, and it was released in the 12.5.0, so quite a long time ago. It had a fire rate of 58 and a capacity of 1. The mobility of it was 30, so you moved very slow. The level required was 22, so pretty high, and it was a laboratory-themed weapon. It wasn't a remodel, and obviously there's a whole bunch of special statistics of it down there. But talking a little bit about this weapon, guys, it's very obvious as to why this weapon was removed. No matter how many times they tried to nerf it, guys, it was still a one-shot weapon that everybody despised. You basically controlled it like whenever you shot it, you would take a first-person point of view of the actual bullet itself, and you could steer it throughout the air and direct it into your enemies. You could detonate them throughout the mid-air, and you were able to kill them instantly without hesitation. It was so annoying that they eventually ended up removing it. So last but certainly not least, guys, I will be talking about the Nanobots Rifle. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of a look at the stats here. It is a special category weapon of the legendary tier. It was released in 12.5.0 update. It has a fire rate of 76, a capacity of 6, and it originally had a 16 weight and a 35 mobility. Again, not really sure what that means. Level 60 or level 17 required. It was not remodeled off of any weapon, and of course you can see its attributes down there. So a little bit of talk about this weapon. This was kind of similar to the what is it called, the Smart Bullet Bazooka. It was pretty similar to this, except for the fact that this one shot out many of those bullets that did a bunch of damage, and they were all like a lot of like little tiny area damaged bugs in a way. Like they kind of looked like a bunch of robotic bugs that just followed you around until you died. And I think they removed it is because like they removed a bunch of the homing weapons all at once, including the Judge, the Smart Bullet Bazooka, and then this. Alrighty, everybody, that is going to be the end of this video. Comment waffle if you made it all the way to the end. WAFFLE. Comment waffle if you made it this far, guys. If you guys did find this video useful, or if you did enjoy it in general, I'd very much appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, because I do post videos every single day, and I do like to stream occasionally as well. So if you like active YouTubers, then you should definitely click that subscribe button, and make sure to turn on those notifications after you do, so that you never miss a stream or upload. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Hey! Do you have Discord? If so, you should totally join the official Unity Discord. The link to it is down in the description. As of right now, we have over 500 members who are constantly looking for people to play with. As soon as you join, you can have easy communication with me and everyone else in the community. So, what are you waiting for, man? Go join my Discord. The link is down in the description.